Nice track sides with Ash Fettiger. Currently on a 2:10.5. Picked up on Luke.
User joined your channel.
He's just he's run a 2:10.8. Mudgie's just posted a 2:10.414, so Mudgie's going quickly. That might be the famous Crossy in the house.
Here, man.
Welcome back, pal. We're streaming live, just riding on board with, or trackside with Bromley and the Renault Jilden Chickadee Penrite car.
Nice.
Very much hoping we got on top of our audio issues, but I suppose we'll find out again shortly.
It's good seeing the old classic liveries come back into these new cars.
Yeah, absolutely. How'd you find the track out there tonight, Steve?
Yeah, it's good. It's slowly getting quicker. I was up at some parts of the track, just couldn't quite get it all together, and I was like, should be running in the sort of mid to high 11s, but just stringing a complete lap together is a real struggle out on here in these cars, and not getting any cuts. It's just yeah, it's tougher than it looks, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she's a fine line, walking that PLP line as well, eh? There's plenty of places to get it wrong.
Yeah, I was just struggling to try to dial some of the understeer out, especially through the fast sections. It's I haven't been able to do it without losing rear end grip, so it's a bit of a balance, but it's unlocking the key, unlocking those little things. It's makes setup do what the car wants to do. But these top guys managed to do it pretty well by the look of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was saying early on, pretty amazing the early pace. I mean, I think it was Monday night, just the times the guys are running, possibly even Sunday night. Yeah, they'll be banking on Joshy. Just maybe them trying to stick with him and get out front and hold him up or something. But he's, I think, the only guy that I've seen at this point in the 8s.
Yeah, it's just an outstanding pace. I don't know where he gets that from. It's obviously just a real good lap, good setup. I mean, he's a good driver. And you've got this handful of guys jostling for the next top spot. Mudgie, Ash, Luke, Nick, Jeff. JB's right with him too, Mudgie. I said Mudgie actually. Same twice, he's at the top of the list.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, Luke's looking pretty comfortable. Mid-11, so he's I dare say that's going to be the race pace. They're going to be sort of low to mid-11s. That second race, it's just going to be 3 even sessions by the sound of it, 2 pit stops.
Okay.
Comes Steve Milling, start another lap. Steve's in the 12s at the moment. That last lap was a sort of higher 12, mid to high 12. So
Yeah.
he'll be sitting in that just outside the top 7 or 8.
Yep.
Maybe just in the top 10 though.
And do you think Steve-O's just doing a fuel run at the moment based on those times, or?
Well, his best time's a 12:1. So
Okay.
hard to say. I mean, what's he running at the moment? He's on soft, so yeah, I dare say he's probably doing a fuel run. See if I can see his lap times. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, I would say he's on a fuel run.
Car looked relatively settled over that bump coming out of those double rights there. Looks like he's got the back end of it sorted.
Yeah, I'll see if he gets any push here. Yeah, it looks okay.
Car looks pretty straight in the way he's driving it off the corners.
He's just 7/10 up at this point on this lap. Yep, a 2:11. There we go.
Better looking time.
Yeah, that brings him up into the fold with the likes of JB, and I'm not sure if Mudgie's time is on super softs or what, but I think we're going to see some good racing in that mid pack there.
Just picked up on the battle pack here, which is 2 Red Bull cars.
Oh, yep, they'll be what they call a pit party, whereas they gather in the pits and go out together to do a run. They give themselves a bit of time on track in amongst each other. Other cars get a feel of what the racing's going to be like, so they're not entirely new to it. So it's not a bad idea, actually. It works well for them.
Mudgie just pinching the rears there.
Looks like he's got better turn in.
The JB really hanging all over the back of him at the minute.
Yeah, sorry, JB has got much pointier car. Looks like he can do a little bit more with it.
Couple of different lines there, or looks like Sid's just had a moment coming off the left-hander onto the back straight.
Yep.
So what's your thoughts, Crossy? You think quali's going to be really important this week on this track, or being such a big track, not so much, or?
I think there's going to be more. I mean, it's going to be pretty important to get a decent spot here for sure, because it's an easy track to defend on. But having said that, if you've got someone right up behind you close, putting pressure on, it's easy to make a mistake too. So it's going to be one of the toughest tracks, that's for sure. Both, but yeah, the start is going to be very important. If Joshy, for instance, or one of the clip guys gets a good start or gets a good grid position and makes use of it, then it's going to be hard to get past him.
Yeah, you know, for
Clear
sure.
track is gold here. See, Margie had to lift slightly then. JB a bit close under brakes.
There might have been a couple of nerves in the mirror. John Boy just picking up a strike there, PLP there. Obviously, this is part of it as well. He'll be wanting to just...
Next time they come round there, right on board with JB, John Boy,
Yes.
and you watch how hard it is to see the apexes when you're right up. Oh, he's gone off.
Yeah,
that
so,
kills that.
yeah. So just mentioning there, Crossy, that that's probably part of these guys' plan. They might have been looking at doing a little bit of a switch there at some point, but certainly John making the most of the opportunity in practice to sit underneath the rear wing of Mudgee and maybe see and feel what it's like in real trim to try and pick the apexes when you're following that close. And as you saw there, that was probably a direct result of him being that close and not really sighting the apex and maybe just getting on the gas a little hard, just trying to stay with Mudgee early off the corner, and it's just caught him out.
Yeah, definitely. I think it works the other way too, where it gives the guy in front a bit of experience running around here with someone with a bit of pressure on your tail. So you get used to that pressure where you can just sort of becomes a bit more normal to run your own lines and not worry about them too much.
So even though this track's such a large track, Crossy, I heard you mention before that your thoughts were that it was possibly an easy track to defend on. How did you come to that decision, mate? Like, is that based on sort of that it's flowing, or you know, it's maybe one line, or it's because it is a particularly big track as far as the width? I think it's probably one of the wider tracks we go to all season. So how did you come to that determination?
Well, obviously the squiggly bits, the left to rights are going to be, because it goes left to right, it's going to be almost impossible to get an inside line, because you jump on the inside in one corner and then you're on the outside for the next one.
Yep.
All the long straights here, I mean, these cars are not great at drafting at the best of times, so all the long straights come out of tight corners, which is normally really hard to get a run on someone because the cars are going slower. You have to wait that little bit longer to get the power down. It just tend to concertina a bit more. Where if you've got a faster corner, sometimes you can eye it up a bit better and get a good run out of it. It's just going to be, I think that makes it tougher. It's just those tight corners, and these cars being not terribly pointy makes it a bit harder. So I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, maybe we'll see a bit of dive bombing. I think this track will promote that, because there's a few good lunges down into some tight corners. See what happens.
You know, fair call, mate. I think it probably does leave a lot down to brakes. I think one's a classic passing opportunity here, in my opinion. There's a couple of opposing lines certainly covering the inside, and the other car could certainly run up the right hand side and run deep and try and switch back down, and maybe get the better run off, but probably will lend itself to going the long way around into the right-handers, which is the first of the S's, which you just mentioned. There's probably not much going once you get into that point. Probably the next best opportunity, I would have thought, might have been either down into the left-hander onto the back straight if one got a good run over top of the hill there and down through the dog leg left there. Next opportunity, in my opinion, would be under brakes. So there's a lot of under brake stuff here at the end of the back straight. I think that would be a good opportunity. Failing that, maybe just some pressure, into some of those, like you say, some of those tighter, sharp corners in the back sector. Maybe a little run wide, and you know, if you turn up and you're Johnny on the spot and can put the car on the inside and take away that line, that might be an opportunity there. But I think it would require obviously a better tyre or a better setup at that point of the race for that stuff to happen. Otherwise, we might see a little bit of a follow the leader.
Yeah, I think there's definite room for the undercut here on this track for the pit stops. That's going to play into it. And as your tyres run out, it's real. I've always found it really easy to make mistakes when your tyres start to get a bit worn, especially that tight little section over the back, just before the final sector. You're trying to get the power down, you're trying to get the car to turn in. It gets real slippery and it's easy to get caught out.
Yeah, nice. On the stream, we've just locked on a camera coming over the hill here. This is one of the spots I said the past mention as they're coming through the dogleg left, heading back down to the left-hander that takes you onto the big back straight. And like I said, potential run down into this left-hander here after they come through this dogleg could be on if somebody was a little bit squirrely, or I guess the something to consider too, Crossy, is the fact that maybe not an inside cut, because if you get a PLP inside cut on one of these fast corners, the job's done. You've basically got to take your pain and manage your cuts. But you know, if you were to run to the outside with plenty of runoff, you've got a great opportunity with the way this app works of rolling out of the throttle for about a second and a half or something like that, just to decrease the speed, get on the brake, and then enter back into this track in a safely manner. And what that may do if somebody's hard up your chuffer is it may give them an opportunity to capitalise on your run wide, which we've seen before.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I think that's definitely something to consider. Yeah. The harder one's going to be the really tight corners. If you go across them and cut them, you've got no chance to roll out throttle. It's too quick. So that'll be tough. And like I say, it'll be just be if you start getting cuts, you just got to manage them, because you don't have to do an extra pit stop. It's just going to blow your race apart.
Yeah, I think it's probably a strong possibility that we might see a couple of pit lane excursions this week. Even though the rule makers have sat down off season and decided that a little bit of leniency might go a long way towards some good racing, and given the guys a couple more cuts this season, it's like anything, Crossy. That a good driver's just going to manage all the tools that he's got, and there'll be guys that'll utilise those extra 2 cuts at some point. They may bank them if they can and keep them in their pocket, but there's a lot of guys that in the pressure of the race end up using them just out of either defence or attack.
Yeah, I think as first laps, so we'll definitely see a few, just to the lack of visibility, the pack, anyone pushing hard, adrenaline pumping, as you do.
It might be one of the best opportunities to get some passing done. And so,
Mudgy,
so that was Mudgy this time. So that was kind of like an identical mistake that I guess that John made a number of laps ago when we were on board, Crossy.
Yep. Yeah, so he's been out there for a while. I think his tyres might be just starting to go off a touch, and he was trying to latch on the back of Luke there and just cooked it.
Yep. So just jump back on board with Steve-O. He's got Crompo behind him. I'm not too sure who that was just up the road. That might be the one car of JB, which it is. The number 1 Red Bull Racing Commodore.
Oh, around he goes.
And he's done the same thing. So both those guys, I'm wondering if they're both carrying a similar setup, and they're both looking for the same sort of thing, and having a couple of issues out of that corner. So the likes of Steve-O and Crompo will be aware of that. They'll be watching that. And I know if it was myself, mate, back racing with these boys, I'd be applying a lot of pressure if I was behind John or Mudgee on the night into that corner, just to make them really want to get off that corner hard. And obviously their setups aren't the best off of that corner tonight, so they might tune that up.
Yeah, I'll let you on a secret. Just before when I was in server with them, they were complaining about understeer, so I think they're trying to sharpen it up a bit. Maybe they're just finding the limits.
They might have gone too far the other way, Crossy. Got too much exit oversteer.
Possibly. It seems that way, doesn't it?
Got that look about it, mate.
Stevo's looking really good at the moment. I think solid. And
yeah, Stevo goes out and he does what he does, mate. He's a seasoned sim racer. He'll go and bank these laps in early in the week. He'll make all the mistakes he needs to during the week, and he'll turn up on Thursday and you know what he lacks in outright raw one lap pace, maybe against the likes of Nick and Josh and Luke, he'll just make on just grinding away consistently and hitting that number he knows he can hit safely. And if those guys make any sort of mistake, he'll be there. You know, and as we saw in the shakedown, Stevo did an amazing job in race 2 when he came in and unsuspectingly picked a super soft tyre and had to run that thing from nearly the halfway point out. So I think he had to run it for about 18 or 20 minutes and all but held on to first right till about, maybe, I think might have been about 5 odd minutes to go. So he did a great job. Actually might have been under 5 minutes. So Steve did, you know, he did show some really good pace at Tiratonga. It's a bit of a, not a home track, but being a Kiwi, I know over the years in different platforms I've pedalled cars around there with him, and he's always gone well there. So all the best to him on this one. I think he'll be nothing short of consistent, and he'll be up there.
he's always good to race against. He's tough. He never gives you a place easily. He'll fight hard. He's super clean, but he'll fight hard. And he's a thinker. You know, you can see him. You can almost feel his brain ticking over, watching what he does, and he's a smart guy.
Yeah, there's not many cleaner. He certainly gets a lot of respect from around the place, because he gives as hard as he gets, but he's one to fight another day if he needs to. Did a good job here. Obviously Cromley's come through and he's got some good pace. Luke's just 10-1. Pretty smart lap. Heading towards, few of these guys heading towards the 9s, I think. Must be starting to see a bit of grip in the session.
He must have had a cut on that one because it hasn't registered on an EP tracker. So his best clean lap's a 10.3 by the look of it. 10.36.
Okay.
I reckon if they get too many cuts, they should have to pit, scull a beer, and then go back out.
Not that we promote drinking and driving for you young fellas out there. At least we do in the armchair at home. Just jump on and I don't know, I thought Kenny might have been out, but he's currently sitting in the pits. We'll just jump on and catch Sid. I've just caught Sid doing a spin.
I'm just going to keep an eye on JB for a little while and see if he's managed to get any more stability out while you're doing that.
Anyway, you just picked up on that. I just watched Mudgee just come off of turn 1, and it did certainly look like he was struggling to get that power
really
down.
Starting to tighten up. We got 10.3, 10.3, 10.4, 10.5, 10.8, top 5.
Yeah, I think we may see some 9s coming. What's the current track grip, Crossy? You got your eyes on that?
Current track grip is 99%, so that's just about it. Got a little bit to go. I don't know how far it is off 100, just says 99 at the moment, so it could be 99.4, 5.7.
Just looking back at this, Luke.
You go, 2.09.
So here's your first 9 for the night.
Yeah, JB's still getting a little bit loose.
So that I'm not sure whether Steve-O posted on that lap, but he's just rolled in a 10.7.21. So,
Oh yeah, he has. Yeah.
So that was, I think, off the back of following Bromley round. So that might have served Steve-O real well, actually, just to do that and tuck in there. This is Mudgy going at it again. Looks like he's got Nick McIndoe and the Erebus Commodore just up in front of him.
That'll be interesting then. Top 2. Give him a bit of cheese there down there in front of the mouse.
Yeah.
Carrot in front of the donkey. Ooh, looks like Luke's on Nick, sorry, going in.
Might have been just cycling up for this lap by the
I
look
reckon
of
they're
it.
waiting for JB, which looks
Okay.
like they're going to pit party.
And that's that fine line of not wanting to roll out too much and lose too much tyre temps, Crossy, by the look of that, because he didn't quite get on the back of him. So it'll be interesting to see if JB can actually catch back up. And Mudgy's just picked up a little too much curb.
Smudgy.
Yep.
Just got onto the ripple.
Yep, was just a little bit too much curb on the exit crossing.
And Sid by the look.
So we'll just flick back over. Luke.
Yeah, just love the look of that car. The old gricey colours.
Yep, run that skin myself once or twice back in the day, half actor 1 days. Tone Paintworks, back in the day, he did a lot of skinning for me. Bases himself up in the States now, but yeah, some great paint schemes. I ran in a team where we just, retro racing and a fellow Aussie battler, and we'd ran the Benson and Hedges and Chickadee and multiple skins, some Rothman stuff in there, and cool. Raven Mild actually comes to mind, was one of them.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture the car now. You got me thinking about that one, the Raven Mild. That wasn't Steve Masterton, was it? No, because that would have been Masterton Holmes Commodore. Raven Mild might be even a Tirana that was running that.
A9X, if my memory serves me right.
It's going to be a great race to watch.
Get a lot out of Jeffro tonight, but I'd say Jeffro's working to a program. He's just let Luke Cropton just go, and he's made it quite clear he's going to tag on the back. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do with this, if he can hang with him, or whether maybe Cromley pulls out of that and doesn't want any bar of him learning some trade secrets.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, he's already got a run on him, so I don't think this is what Jeff had in mind. It's Mac is just tucked in the back of this battle as well, so Nick will be watching with interest, albeit that I feel like he's on the pace anyway. So this is the battle group at the minute in this practice session. You've got Luke Crompton up the front in the Chickadee Penrite car. Jeff Burse is in the number 2 Scotty Pye Boost mobile car. Nick McIndoe really applying some pressure to the back of Jeffro in the number 9 Davey Reynolds Erebus EB.
Yeah, the two Red Bull cars are running a formation again. I'm just sitting on board with Kenny in the shell car. He's sitting behind him, trying to stay with him, but I dare say they probably just slipped by him.
Yeah, I wanted to give a little bit of airtime to the famous number 17 Falcon of Scotty McLaughlin, driven by Ken Simpson. So yeah, Kenny jumping on board when that car came available this season. So best of luck to Kenny. If he puts the time in, we know that Ken really can get a handle on these things. So hopefully he's not a strong showing on the Falcons this year, but hopefully he can team up with somebody on the setup fronts and really get this thing working to the level it deserves.
He's not afraid of going sideways, or Kenny.
Pretty handy.
Being a speedway racer.
Yeah, Kenny, a real racer out of Rockhampton. We've got Steve-O tucked in behind them too, so it'll be interesting to see if Steve-O can just merge on the back of this one.
Kenny's going alright, he's just eclipsed my time. Mind you, I'm well off the pace at the moment.
Well, according to the tower crosser, it's only a 5:19.996, mate. So there must have been something wrong with the timing loop there. Yeah, so Steve-O's all over the back, was looking for a pass down into this left-hander onto the big back straight, and thought better of it and just open the steering up. There's another one of those Red Bull cars, Crossy, as we were talking about.
Yep, that's 97, so that's
Mudgee.
Mudgee, yeah.
Same spot, so both those guys still having, well, certainly Mudgee still having issues trying to get that thing hooked up off that corner. Ken a little bit deep there. Stephen really good under brakes down there.
It's be good to watch actually, just to see,
Steve-O looking at going the long way around. Maybe Kenny's looking at yielding
he's
this.
making him poor.
Well, he's giving him a tag.
Not sure if Kenny was not seeing him there or wanting to let him through.
I get the impression he was actually wanting to let him go, and he's just ended up on the other side of what Stephen thought was maybe the way he was going.
Doesn't look like there's too much damage anyway, so. But you know what, maybe Steve-O was enjoying being behind Kenny, having to work for it, and he's let him through again.
Steve-O could be putting the ambassador's hat on too and working with Kenny on some lines here too, so good on you, Steve-O, if that's what you're up to. Oh, Kenny getting it really sideways into one. Great control.
Steve-O got a cut then.
I can see that.
Oh, no, it was Sid, sorry. It's the chat box that shows them both. Oh, no, it was Steve-O.
Just picked up on the 888 entry Lowndes Autobahn entry.
Steve-O, because
Sorry, Coffee.
tricky corners like this, it's where you really need to practice and where you need to be applying the pressure, because this is where mistakes can come.
Yeah. Just saying, Crossy, I just picked up on the 888 Lowndes entry, driven by John. So that's Hazol. So good to see Haz back in the seat at ASRNZ, and hopefully Hazzy gives it a good nudge. Him and Sid. So good to see Sid back also.
Yeah, a couple of good guys, good blokes.
You can certainly hear that that PLP indicator going off, so all the guys really testing the track limits at this point.
I think I won't be far off going to bed at this stage.
Might just take the opportunity just to grab our front runner, and he won't know it, but we might just drag him down here, Crossy, and just get a read on where he's at with his current pace and what's going on.
User was moved to your channel.
Hey, Luke.
Hey, mate.
Sprung it on you, pal. Got you going live, mate. You see at the top of the tower at the moment on a 2096. That's a handy lap, pal.
Thank you. I'm trying, bro.
So, what's the plan, man? Are you working to a program tonight? Like, have you done any fuel runs?
I'm doing a fuel run at the moment, so I'm doing around the 9 sevens to 10 flats.
Wow, that's nice and quick, mate.
But yeah, there's more in it, but it's such a technical track, hey. You gotta be fucking on it, man.
Yeah. Hey,
consistency the hardest thing, you reckon, around him? Doing every lap spot on, getting.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is in the braking. I notice running with the guys, I'm out braking them quite a lot, so I think I'm making up a bit of time there.
Nice. Hey, just been watching tonight during this practice session, and yeah, obviously you've been looking good all night. Nick McIndoe's looks like he's got a fair bit of pace on board as well, so I don't know what his program is. A little surprised to see the two Red Bull cars, Mudgee and JB. We've been watching them throughout the night, albeit they're showing a bit of pace running in the mid-10s. Mate, we've seen them having some real issues off of the left-hander onto the back straight, having multiple spins each and just really struggling to get the power down. Has there been a little bit of chit-chat on channel in relation to that? A bit of frustration?
Maybe between the two. I haven't heard anything.
Right. Might be a little bit of...
trying to nut it out together, I would say.
Yeah. It's been going on for a while, mate, and we've been wondering, sitting here in the booth watching, just that exit power down they're struggling with. How are you finding the getting the power down?
Not too bad, actually. I'm running quite a flat camber at the back to try and compensate, get a bit more tyre down on the road.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Hey, well, it's looking good. So that's obviously a bit of... Is that a confirmation that you're definitely you're on for this Thursday? All battle
Yeah,
mode?
man. I've got the bug, mate.
Nice, mate. Well done, mate. Hey, look, I need to catch up with you at some point in the coming days anyway, mate. I've got something to send down to you, and I haven't forgotten about you. I just missed you at Christmas, so I wanted to hand deliver it to you. So,
Yeah, all good, all
yeah,
good.
for our viewers, that's Luke Crompton. He is second place finisher last season in the GD3, so well done on that, Luke, and he's got a trophy coming his way. So, yeah, all right, mate, we'll leave you to it, let you carry on with your program, and we'll talk to you maybe on Thursday night.
Awesome. Cheers, guys.
Nice, mate. Good luck.
User was moved out of your channel.
Well.
He's certainly showing the way around tonight, isn't he?
He sure is, mate. He's definitely. I just wonder. I see Joshy's not on here. I think he may have some exams or something. Shout out to Joshy if you're watching, pal.
He might be on the stream, just
Yeah.
laying back, watching what's going
Yeah,
on.
he could be watching. He's watching. These boys will know what's coming. But he'll be watching. As we suspected in the shakedown, he's pretty sharp operator as Josh, and he'll know what's going on the times. He keeps his eye on it. So, but I think he's feeling pretty comfortable that he could probably turn up and get some practice done on the Thursday and run up front strong.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, Crossy, mate, that's I don't know where you're at, mate, but this has been a pretty good session for me, and all going well, mate. I'm going to check a little bit of replay on the stream and make sure our audio's in track and everything's all aligned. There's a couple of little bugs I want to iron out. I'll speak to the good man Aztec and see if we can't sort those out before Thursday. It's just a couple of screen app issues that I want to sort out, but other than that, mate, that was a really good call tonight.
Yeah, it was good. It was good fun. It's past my bedtime, I think, for a Tuesday night. So might head off and yeah, get some sleep, get some Z's.
Yeah, no, awesome, mate. All right, we'll call it a night and look forward to calling this one Thursday with you, pal.
Yep, sounds good, mate. Can't wait.
Awesome, pal.
Cool.